about a guy that was an all-star at one point for the Philadelphia Phillies? He joins us right now. Jimmy Rollins going to join us live on Leading Off as we get set for the Phillies and the Pirates. And Jimmy's here for a special cause, not just the baseball. Jimmy, how are you today?
I am busy. I am well.
Looking all grown, man.
I know, right?
looking like an adult up in here.
I'm great, though. I'm great. I'm enjoying my time in Philly, as I always do.
Well, Jimmy, we're happy to have you and talk about the Phils a little bit, but tell us why you're here today specifically, playing with Hart and the campaign you're doing with a bunch of other former baseball players.
Yes.
And Charlie Manning. Tell us about the campaign and why it's so important to you.
It's heart health awareness, and it's important because, one, we can't live without our hearts. It's the number one killer in this country, heart disease, and personally, I've seen it firsthand now with my father passing away a month ago. My aunts passed away, my grandmother passed away, and even myself, knowing that I have elevated bad LDL, which is low density lipoprotein cholesterol, which is what LDL stands for. It's always acronyms like, what is it? It's simple. It's bad cholesterol. It's the fats that can block your arteries and leads to a higher risk of stroke and heart attack. And as scary as it is to know, to think of how scary it is to know, it's even worse to not know. You exercise, and then all of a sudden you're feeling something, and we all want to self-diagnose ourselves. We're healthy and working out. Doesn't matter what you look like or how you feel on the outside. You could be the top shape of your life. Inside, maybe telling a different story, and it may not be anything that you're doing. In my case, it's DNA. We know that it runs in my family.
You know what's funny, J-Ro? Because I was telling Joe about this because I take cholesterol medicine, and for me, initially it was kind of hard to realize that, because you work out every day, everything you're talking about, you're not really eating bad. So my question to you, was it kind of hard to hear and know that you kept yourself in pretty good shape to actually get on it and start taking it?
Oh, I mean, I'm not taking anything, but yeah, the pride, ego, what? I'm this. Of course, it was my mind. It was the off season. I was eating everything I wanted.
Yeah, cheeseburgers,
everything. When the season starts, I'll be fine. And sure enough, every year in spring training, those numbers were slightly elevated. And the last time I was tested was a year and a half ago, I would think it was. And once again, they're slightly elevated, and it's okay. I've seen it. My numbers have been about where they are since I first started getting tested.
So it's not nothing. It's not high.
Yeah. It'll be high, like what, 159 or so is high or something like that. And I'm like 162. So I'm at the beginning of what high is, but it's been there, so I know it exists. It was just in my mind, it was due to the off season where I was eating, but getting educated and seeing my father go through it and learning more about it. It had less to do with eating what I wanted to do in the off season than I thought. So yeah, your question, ego and pride get you in a lot of trouble. Go see your doctor. Go get checked out.
And Jimmy, I think it's important to know, especially I bet there's a lot of people out there listening. They're like in their 20s or their 30s. Like, I don't worry about that yet. There was a player during your era of playing. Darryl Kyle was a great pitcher. Unfortunately, he passed. A young man.
Yep.
In his 30s. And so it doesn't matter how old you are. You need to be on top of this.
You need to be on top of it, and it's simple. You go to playingwithheart.com and take the first step. And a lot of times it's just doing the research yourself that takes that fear away of like, okay, this is what it is. Let me try it. And don't be a self-doctor. Don't try to diagnose yourself. Don't try to solve it without knowing what the proper steps are. You get to a doctor, get on a program, and then you have a chance.
Playingwithheart.com. And there's a booth here today, right? It's Citizens Bank Park, right? I was walking around.
Right out in left the Wall of Fame area.
Yep, right. So
it's hot out there, though. It's
warm.
Oh,
yes.
It's warm.
They're giving out waters over there. So get your water as you come in the park. You could go stop at the booth.
Yes.
Boy, it's hot out here. Now, when you first were here, I mean, the vet was here. How does this? How hot was it on the vet field when it was a day like this?
118. I think the highest we saw it was 118, and I'm playing shortstop, and from the dugout, the vet, as you sat beneath the field, you can see the heat wave get above the wall.
Yeah, that's when you know it's real.
It's hot. And I'm sitting there, he used to laugh at me like, Jim, you ain't got no chance. You stuck right in the middle of it. But that's what's nice about this ballpark is that it is natural. You're not getting that heat off the turf. But when they wet the field, and that water
moisture
comes up, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Now
your feet
now
hot.
You're being steamed.
Yeah.
Being steamed.
You're like a lobster. Like a lobster.
Jimmy Rollins joining us here on Leading Off. Jimmy, let's talk about the team and the way they're playing right now, which is, man, what? Let's talk about Don Mattingly, the job you think he's done. Look, Topper was a good Phillies manager. Everyone liked Topper, but the team wasn't responding early this season. They were 9-19. they make the switch, and now the talks about Don Mattingly maybe being more of a long-term guy and being manager of the year. What do you think about the job Mattingly's done since taking over?
He's done a hell of a job, and it's funny how life happens, right? Don was done with baseball last year.
Yeah, he was chilling.
And just got a call, and Dombrowski was like, hey, we want you to be a part of it. He considered it. I'm not sure what the conversation was, but he's here. And I had a chance to play with Don in 15, under Don in 15. And I know the type of person he is as a manager. He didn't forget how hard it is to go out there every single day. He understands and respects you being a big leaguer, you having your own schedule. He's not trying to control things. And I was 3 days in the spring training, and all the guys playing for the Dodgers, none of them really played on the East Coast. And it was like he'd been waiting to say this for years. He's like, a lot of you guys could have made it on the East Coast. Isn't that right, Jimmy? And I'm like, bro, I'm the new guy here. What are we doing? But he just wanted to let them know that I understand how as difficult as you think it is, it's much more difficult on the East Coast. So for him to know that, to understand how the East Coast mentality is, to take over a team that was 9-19, he was the perfect guy. He was one. You could look at his track record. I don't know how he's not a Hall of Famer. When you bring that to a clubhouse, on top of that, he still can relate to today's player. He's a perfect guy.
You know, it's funny that you talk about that because we've heard players in the past talk about the guy that carried the stick and all that other good stuff. How important is that? Like, because in football it's a little different because, you know, you got coaches that never played the game, but they're X and O's guys.
Right.
For a player, how important is it for you to know that you're with somebody who understands undoubtedly what you're going through on a day-to-day basis?
You know he's going to have your back when you struggle because he struggled. He knows what it's like to go one for your last 20 to strike. Well, he probably doesn't know what it's like to strike out 2 or 3 times in the game, but he understands that that's part of the game. He also understands the X's and O's, which he does, but he's going to go with his gut at the same time. I know what the numbers say, but my eyes are telling me something else. He's not stuck to the book because he has experience. He's lived it. He's breathed it. And when you know that, you consider that, and you hear this term, and especially in baseball, he's a player's manager. That doesn't mean he's soft on his players. He understands his players, and he's going to be that buffer between what's going on up there, what's going on out here, and what's happening in that clubhouse. And you can count on that. When you have a guy that you can count on in that way, that understands the ins and outs and the struggles, the highs and the lows, it makes going out playing baseball a lot easier.
Jimmy Rollins with us here on Leading Off. Jimmy, the NL East, I mean, at one point it was 11 games.
It was crazy.
Now they're within 2.5. And we were before you hopped in talking about the schedule, Phillies go on the road after this, 3 teams that have losing records. It's not crazy to think they come home for the All-Star game. They might be in first place. What a turnaround.
They can. The Braves will still have to lose, but to make up 9 games
crazy
before the All-Star break is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and look, and I've been on TV, and I said it on Tuesday. Look, I have to say sorry because the division was over. The way they were playing,
you weren't the only one that thought.
Look, the way they were playing, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was no fight. It wasn't like, oh, they're losing by 1 in every game. They were getting their butts beat, and it's okay. Well, is that window closed? And we know in sports there's a window. You get older. You don't get older and better. There's a certain point where you get past the better. You know, and that's what it was looking like. So. To make up those many games, and I said this earlier, they are the epitome of what the fighting fields are. It didn't matter what everybody on the outside was saying. They found something. They made the change in the managers. They found something within themselves to get them to this point right now where they're right back in the thick of things, and it's beautiful Philly.
So you said you don't get better with age. Kyle Schwarber's trying to change that opinion, though. I mean, doesn't it feel like he's getting better as he gets older? It's remarkable.
So, like I said, there's a point.
Yeah.
There's a point, and he's peaking right now. One thing I can say in today's sports, the way they take care of their bodies, the knowledge that they have, the willingness to spend the money to sustain a certain level of play, it's showing up. It's showing up in not just baseball, but in every single sport.
It really is. Jimmy, we appreciate you being with us. One more time, tell us about the campaign and tell us where everyone could go to get their – if they're coming to the park today, out by the Wall of Fame, they'll see the booth. But tell us where they can go online to check it all out.
Yeah, we'll start there. Go online with planwithheart.com. Heart health is important. It's America's #1 killer. So get your number. Know your number. Meet with the doctor. Get a plan. Take care of yourselves because – you don't want to, leave your loved ones sooner than you have to. We all have a time on this earth, and we all know that. but do what you can that you can prevent things and live as long as you possibly can.
Jimmy, great message. So glad we could do this today. Enjoy the game. It's a hot one, so stay
a hot
hydrated
one.
out there.
Stay hydrated.
Yes, but we appreciate you hopping on with us here on Leading Off.